It's a long story, but I'll try to shorten it up. It's a story that I've been in denial to want to tell it, because usually cancer is not it's a disease that you don't want to even talk about, because it's a disease that has no cure. It's a disease that really, when you have experienced of your loved one going through cancer, sometimes you don't want to keep the memories at bay. You don't want to talk about it. But because I help people who, kids who have cancer, I realize many people see me helping people, many people see me helping cancer kids, but they really don't know my story. They really don't know why do I help kids who are battling cancer. My name is Juliana. I have one daughter. I'm married. I have one daughter. Her name is Sandra. And back in 2016, she was diagnosed with lymphoma. And the bad part of it is that cancer is a silent killer. Cancer is a disease that you will never see like, oh, I'm having this problem, or there's a problem that is lingering for a while, then, you get diagnosed. My daughter was well for all those years. That time, 2016, she was 16 years old. And there was nothing wrong with her. There was no problem. Something that you see is going on. She's been in the doctor's office, nothing like that. But one morning, I was working night shift that day. I came home and, she had a lump that was swollen inside of her neck. And she was just not even coughing. She was just tough. She would feel like it's like I have a cold. But that day, deep in my heart, I thought, this is cancer. I just thought about it and I said, I wouldn't want to think about it. But I thought maybe this gland, wherever it was not normal gland. It was just a gland on the side of her neck. And I was thinking, there should be a gland under there. If you have a cold, then it should come under your tonsils or something like that. But that day, my gut didn't lie. So I said, oh, okay, let's go to the doctor. Maybe they'll give you something, to get the cold out or cough it up and stuff like that. But nothing changed that day. She took medication for 2 days, I think. It never went away. We went back. She got another set of antibiotics. It never went away. And then, the doctor said maybe it's gonna, it may take a little longer, but it's gonna be okay. Then we went back to, life as normal. We just, we were just waiting for that swelling to subside, but it never went away. 2 weeks down the line, I am at home. My husband was home at that time, and the school nurse calls me, tells me, Juliana, you need to come quickly. Your daughter was in the gym and she's just having a shortness of breath, and our pass rate is over 200, and this is not normal. You have to take her to the doctor immediately. And my heart sank. I knew this was it. So we went to the doctor. We got there, and the doctor was trying to listen to our lungs, but she couldn't get the sounds were not, she couldn't hear the sounds right. She gave us some, breathing treatment like an albuterol, where it will open up your lungs, and then the doctor will figure out and, listen to our lungs. But it goes worse. My daughter started coughing. She couldn't hear anything. And right in there and then she said, oh, I need you to go to the emergency room because I need further, tests done, maybe scans and everything. And you know how emergency room is. And they do the triage, so you can sit there for a whole day, because if you are not having a fever, you are not having anything, then they will just take the people that are very sick. And I think we sat there from 2 o'clock until midnight that day. So finally my daughter got in and got a room, and then the doctors came. They said they need a CT scan. She went for a CT scan, and then we're there waiting. You know how it is. We are just waiting, and then the doctors will come in and they will ask us, are you Sandra's mom? Are you Sandra's dad? And they'll get up. They'll come again. You know, the doctor will come, oh, are you Sandra's mom? And so, and I knew by the look of their faces, something horrible was going on. You know, Sandra was in the bed sleeping, and then finally I told this one nurse, I'm a nurse, just tell me what's going on with my daughter. I think I can handle it. But deep in my heart, I was just broken. I knew something was not right. Finally she said, okay, I'm gonna call the doctor. So the doctor comes in, and you know, they pull the chair, sits down and looked at my daughter, are you feeling okay? And she told us that my daughter has a mass sitting on a very large mass. It's on her chest and is sitting on her heart, and that's why the pulse rate was going so high. And then our water is full of water. Our lungs are full of water. And she said that we can't even let you live with her. We have to take her to another hospital on an ambulance.
When was it here in America?
Yeah, just here. Yeah,
okay.
It's in America, yes. And sitting there, they wouldn't say it's cancer, but you can't even tell. It's, you know, when you hear a mass somewhere, obvious, you know, a mass growing in you is obvious cancer. At that time, 2016, cancer was not very rampant like today.
Right.
And we looked at each other, my husband, we knew it wasn't good. So they took her with the ambulance to Indianapolis in one hospital. It's called hospital for kids, because she was only 13 years that time. And now we had to come home and get a few clothes and follow the ambulance. And you know, like you get numb, like you are, you know, bad news, the way some people process different. You can see, but you cannot think. You just moving, you know, the way home, but you cannot process, because right there I knew my daughter was very sick. So we come home. We were supposed to pick a few clothes to follow her, and when we were picking, she's calling, oh, they put me on oxygen. Where are you guys? Have you started? You know, even now she was scared of her life because she didn't know what was going on. I come home and I get a suitcase because we had to put clothes. We didn't know. When we were coming back, we didn't know what was the outcome. We didn't know what was going on. And I'm telling you, I got shoes. I got my daughter's shoes, I got my husband's shoes, I got a lot of shoes. Like I just was putting things in my suitcase. I didn't know what it was until the time we got there, and I opened the suitcase in the morning to get clothes to wear. And I found out it was all shoes. That's how, you know, when news come to you, bad news like that, you just get, the body gets shocked, and you know, before you realize, okay, you know, I am in a problem. So we drive back to the hospital down in Indianapolis, and my daughter had gotten there, and she was settled in a room. And I remember that day when we were going, you know, being a nurse and seeing people the way they struggle with cancer until, you know, they're emaciated, they're so thin, you know, I told God that day, God, if it's your will for my child to get well, heal her. If it is not, I told God to take her home, because I never wanted to see her suffer. It was that bad. I said, I don't want to see her walk, struggling, you know, chemotherapy is not working, and then eventually die. I told God, just take her home. So that night we slept, and the morning the journey began. The doctors came, you know, do their rounds, and they did their, you know, listening to the lungs and looked at the x-rays that were taken here. But they had to do their own scans, they had to do their own things. So they did a scan again, and then they put a tube to drain the water, you know, that was in our lungs. I'm telling you, they drained 5 liters of water from our lungs. they put that tube, no, you put the tube and then it goes to a bottle where it drained. And she felt better because she was just drowning in the water. She's like, you're trying to breathe, but it's like your chest is full of water, you see. So she had to go for a biopsy the following morning, and then it's when after that they told us, your child officially has cancer. It was lymphoma. It was primary mediastinal large B cell lymphoma. It's very aggressive. It was aggressive, and now there we are. You know how it goes. They have to tell you the side effects. They have to tell you what's going to happen. They have to tell you all these things, and you're there to sign those forms that these are the things it's going to, they're going to do to your daughter, A, B, C, D, the side effects of this medication, what's going to happen. And they're not, you don't want to hear the side effects of the chemotherapy. It's just terrible. But we had no choice. So the journey began, and they started chemotherapy. We signed all those forms, and she has to get 6 cycles of chemotherapy. And if that didn't work, then she had to get radiation and stuff like that. But during that time, how I knew what to do is just pray and just read the word, because I had nowhere else to run to, that God can give us comfort. This is our only child. We didn't have another. Yes, she is diagnosed with this disease that we don't know whether she's going to get better or she's going to get cancer free or she's going to die. Then that was the reality of it, So we started the journey, first round, They were just to do their plan was they do 1 round, they shrink the tumor, and then they can get in and just, cut it out. But the doctor was skeptical because it was sitting on the heart, and he didn't want to snip out the heart or something. So they said, we're just gonna give, chemotherapy, and then if it doesn't work, then they would do the radiation. So, man, the journey started. I'm telling you, the side effects of chemotherapy, the headaches. Here is your child sitting there, and it's just starting. The hair started to fall off. In the second round, the hair started to fall off. You will sit somewhere like this, and a chunk of hair will just come out. So we just decided to, just cut it out. And as a mother, I wished, why did you not give it to me? She was only 13 years old. She was so young, she didn't know even what was going on. She's scared to die. She doesn't know, you hear what people, and here is all bald head, like your face. Now you have to start thinking of, where do we get wigs, or hearts or something, And I could see the trauma in her, body aches, bone aching, throwing up, headaches every time that, because of the chemotherapy side effects, the headaches never go away. Even if she was always, given medication, sleeping all the time. But through it all, I was just praying every day, and I just would tell God, give me a sign that everything will be okay. And for to be honest with you, God really answers prayers. From that time, I started having dreams. Like I would dream my daughter's hair will come back after chemotherapy, calculated, I would dream my daughter graduating from school. I would dream my daughter getting better, So in the third round, the doctor said there is no evidence of disease. That was the third time, but we still had to do the 6 cycles regardless. You see, so we did the third cycle. The doctor said that the cancer is not being seen anymore. The tumor shrunk so bad, and it's not, it just very little left. And then he decided that he has to give the 6 cycles. And I remember my daughter asking, why are you giving me 6 cycles if I have you can't see any cancer through the PET scan? We said, we want to get rid of the cancer completely if there is any cell left. So then the 6 cycles are done, and then the doctor who was treating my child, the funny thing, ate one eye. So my daughter always was asking, why is your eyes not good? He said, you want to know? He said, yes. When I was your age, exactly the same age like you, I had the same disease. And God healed me so that I can come treat kids with cancer. And for me, I felt like God knew a time like this we will need him. And God gave us favor. You are there, not a nurse, but there as a mother, you just, every day you're just waiting for the scan to hear whether the doctor will clear you to go to do the scans. Every day you see whether the lab work will allow you to do chemotherapy, And what is the doctor saying? Is it getting better? Is the tumor getting better? So those are moments that, me and my husband, every day, here we are at home. Sometimes my kid will get sick. Sometimes he's sleeping all day because the bones, chemotherapy will clean up all your system. It is now every day you are being cleaned up. If you do around today, then 2 weeks, a week or 2, you go back, it's the same thing, And then he had all these, things in our hands. We had to clean all that, and blood grows and everything. So for me, the experience was very excruciating. And then I wondered whether my kid would ever get better. And every day you just get somewhere and you cry and just tell God to heal her. Because, you start thinking of being, you had kids, but the one kid that you had died of cancer. I didn't want to be one of that, but God healed my child. So 2016, June, I remember, my daughter was declared cancer free, 2016, June. So she never missed a cycle because all the blood work used to be good. So she could do every day the doctor scheduled to be done, we could go and get it done. And since the day she left the hospital, she's never been, sick ever since. That has been now 2016 up to date, maybe 8 years ago, So she's been well. And last year, the doctor now, discharged her from seeing her after 8 years. Because there's always the fear of the cancer coming back. There's always other secondary cancers that come from the medications that you take. But then there is the mental part now. The body starts now, it's like a fresh baby, starts to learn how to be itself. Like my daughter started having anxiety and all these things, going through that trauma, the PTSD of the cancer as she was growing up. But she's been, good so far, and she's been doing well. Now she's in the university. She was like in middle school that time. She was in 7th grade. And now she's in the university doing 2 degrees actually.
Yeah.
And we pray that God will give her children, because some of the medication, they say that you will never have kids because, or they'll make you infertile, or the eggs, or you get menopause early, or stuff like that. But my thing is that I pray that God will give her good children, and I pray that one time the cure of cancer won't be found, because even today we live in the fear of cancer coming back, because it does come back. As a mother and as a father, we always worry if I hear a cough or I hear something is not okay. As a mother, I always worry, like, what if it's something coming up again? You see, so you live in that fear until you hear now there is cure, so you can go to the hospital and get the cure. So it was a very hard moment for me as a mother. When did I start this organization? When I was in that hospital, because my kid had insurance, my kid had good doctors, my kid got whatever she could get to get the best medication. I thought about kids in Africa, not only in Africa, but the poor kids who have nothing like that. And even before, even before my child was healed, I started now helping kids in Kenya. Poor kids who had nothing. Poor kids who will come to the hospital when their cancer is stage 4, metastasis everywhere. And lucky enough, I got 40 kids that time. And we worked with those kids, but unfortunately, they all died.
Oh, how many?
40 of them. Yeah, so I went to the hospital, there's the hospital, general hospital there, and then they were recruited, the poor ones. So the mother doesn't work, the father doesn't work, and they have nothing. But the challenge with the poor people with cancer is that it's hard, because if you can barely put food on the table, imagine the doctor wants you to do scans so that you can get to the chemotherapy. The doctor wants you to buy medication. The doctor wants you to eat a balanced diet. The doctor wants you to go back for chemotherapy after a week or 2. And imagine a poor person who can barely put a food on the table. They can't afford it. So what do? They let the kids sit home, and the kids die at home. So I put myself in their shoes, and then that's how I started supporting poor kids. But I never want to tell this story. I never want to tell my story. I never want to hear them talk about the pain, because I relive it again. Like, I feel it fresh in me. You hear mothers lost 2 kids with cancer. I have one of them who has 2 kids who have cancer that I support right now. And you think about it, I had money, I had insurance, I had good doctors, I had all I needed. So every time I hear them talk about the frustrations and the kid is at home and the doctor said it is all over the body, or my kid died, I can't relieve it. Like, it usually comes fresh to me. It's like death, like you just feel the pain. So for me, doing this interview and telling people, I know what it is to go through cancer. I know what it is to even think about, even when you sleep, whether your child will live or die. I know what it is to even live in the fear of cancer coming back. I know what it is to just listen to the doctor say that we will do what we can. And whatever happens, they have no control, because they just try these medications, like, trial medication. If this doesn't work, we'll give you this. If this doesn't work, we'll give you this. But hope is what kept me going. And today I will tell my mother, hope, regardless, is what will keep us going in God. Because all I could do was pray. I knew my mother doesn't live here. My brothers and sisters, they can say, oh, we are praying for you, or let us know what you need. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you come home, it's you, your child, and your husband. The problem is yours. It's only you can feel it. It's only you. The people can only imagine. But for me, it was a burden that I never wanted. And I wondered, and I asked God questions. I know people wonder, why I asked, why me? I have only one. But later on you realize, because I wanted you to walk the journey so that you can help somebody, because you know how it is. And that's why today I do help those kids. Today I want to grow big. Today I want to help them more. What usually I do right now, I'll give them money for food and the money to go to the hospitals.
Now, before you go through that, you say about parents, they say around 43 of parents of children with cancer report high levels of psychological distress during treatment, according to the global studies.
Yes.
That
is true, and it's something that you go through, because you see, when you are sick, let's say stomach flu or something, there's medication. Or you have a headache, what to take so that it goes away. But here you are. The doctor tells you cancer that is aggressive. But there's no choice. These are medications that they are trying, you know. So they will try these medications and then they will go to immunotherapy and all this. But you imagine the trauma of the harshness of the side effects of chemotherapy, and then it didn't work. Now you're going to another, which you don't even know. The doctors are trying. That's why you see some people, they give up and they don't want to do it. They rather die than going through the processes. So as a mother, you as a parent, even not a parent, as a spouse, if your spouse is going through the same, or your wife is going through breast cancer, ovarian cancer, all these things, it's distressing. You can only wear a face, but deep inside you are rotting, you are hurting.
Mm-hmm. And what motivated you to turn your personal pain into that large mission to help others?
Because my kid got well, right? Mm-hmm. But I imagined, because I'm born in Africa and I know how it is hard to even put food on the table for families that are, not everybody in Africa has money.
Yeah. Here they say in Kenya, only 28% of cancer patients have access to specialized treatment, leaving families to struggle on their own.
Yes. And you know, it is, you have to pay out of pocket. There's no Medicaid there. There is no non-profit that assist you in this or that. And you can imagine, I imagined myself being in Kenya. If I was in Kenya that time, I don't think my kid could have survived. And so when I imagine these things and I imagine of these kids, it brings tears to your eyes, like, how do they do it? And just for being a nurse and just knowing the prognosis of things, when they tell you what the doctor is saying, when they send you these scans, when they send you these things, it's like, you know, the prognosis is not good. So I feel them. I know what they feel. I know the same things, the questions that comes in their mind is what came in mine, you know. And so if I can do something small, if I can provide a meal for that child when she's going through chemotherapy, then I would do that. If the mother tells me I only need transportation to take her to the hospital, oh, there's some insurances, you know, the government insurance, they don't pay a lot, but if I can pay towards the insurance that when they go, then they can get some help, then that's the things that I do. But it's getting worse. It's cancer is become like bushfire in Africa. Like everybody's, you know, in Uganda I have like 20 kids. So when the Kenyan kids died, I never went back there. You know, I grieved for a long time. I just shut off.
Yeah.
Because 40 kids, you know, you look at them, they look good, but they're dying inside. This one died. You know, the journey was so hard. And after that, I couldn't go back to that hospital to ask for more. Of which now I've grieved enough, and I want to get up. And I want to start helping people. And I want to start helping mothers to speak up. Because like me, when you speak up the pain, I can relate to you. I can understand and I can know how to help you either mentally, socially, in all ways. Because when you sit it inside, it hurts. You know, I've never want to talk about it until today.
Yeah.
I've never tell anybody that my kid had cancer or something. I ran away from it. But I realized I can't be a leader when I can't talk about it. I gotta tell the people, I know how it feels. I know when the news come, how your body gets numb. I know the fear of death that always lingers in your head. That my kid may die tomorrow. That my chemo will not work. Those things, I know those things, and I've lived with them. And even after being cancer-free, the fear of, what if it comes back?
Right.
What if? So every month, we send money to them. Like, let's say, for example, we decide $50 every child, or $30 every child. So that money helps them to go to the hospital, you know, depending on the date they are given, and then buy some food for this kid who is ailing. You know, like they need fruits, they need all these little things. and also feed the family, because when cancer hits, everything, every resource is taken to the baby or whoever is sick, because nobody wants somebody to die. You want to try your best that even at the end of the day, and if they die or something happened to them, you tried. You can console yourself knowing we went to the hospital, we sold our land, we sold our chicken, we sold our cows, So that's what I do right now. But more so, I want to create a platform where the people who are struggling with this, we can talk to each other. We can share. I can hear your heart. I can hear your struggles, and we can hear this out and talk to each other. I tell you how I felt, and how I felt you feel, and how I dealt with what I felt, and more so know the problems that they are having, that I can even help them more. Because I only know this child has cancer, lymphoma, whatever, but I don't know more details about the other struggles that the family is going through mentally, socially, emotionally, you see. So there's not only the support, but I want to do more. Mothers who have, kids going through the same, families, we can take them to counseling, or if somebody talks to them, how do we deal with this disease? Because it's not a disease, it's a disease that it's not going to end tomorrow. You don't know when it's going to end. You don't know when it's going to be, this is the end of it. It's a journey that you take even for years, you see. So that is my prayer, that I'll set up a platform for everybody where we can hear, we can talk, we can pray for each other, we can support each other if we can, you see. Because I've been doing that now, supporting individuals, personally, but now that I've grieved enough, that I have now kind of healed, because I'm seeing now it's been 8 years, my kid is getting better and getting well mentally and everything, then now I can start a platform where now we can talk, have a dialogue with somebody, when I can hear your story and I can see how I can help you as a family, because some of them, maybe they don't want the money for the kids, they want something which is pressing them so much, but I can know, you see. So that's why I'm trying to create a platform for that we can talk, we can have a dialogue. And when I hear you have, when I talk to you, oh yeah, I went through the same too, and this is what we did, you can, you get better, you stay stronger a little bit, yeah.
Okay, so did being in a new country add any unique challenges or perspectives to your journey?
For helping cancer kids?
Yes.
Yes, because of the way I saw things here were different from where I came from. People on top of things, people, they try their best, they do what they can. But in Africa, because of poverty and everything, and the congestion in hospitals, and people don't have money, it's different, you see. So I wish I was a millionaire. I wish I was rich. You can set up a facility where you come free, take medication and do whatever and leave. We can only wish, but sometimes wishes can come true, who knows. Mm-hmm. But I wish the kind of life, medication for kids here is, I wish it can be taken like this, and just, here is Africa, especially for the poor kids,
So what did you write in your book?
So my book, when people see my organization, they always ask me, what led you to do this? Or how did you come here? So the book is a biography of my story, how God brought me here for the purposes of what I do today, and the purposes of my kid getting sick. I knew, the Bible says before we were conceived in a mother's wombs, He knew us. God knew my kid would be sick. God knew I had to be here. God knew He had to heal my child for me to help the kids that I support today. And even not only those, many more things that I do. Because He knows it all, So this book is just a biography of my life. How did I start even, But my supporting people didn't just start when I came to America. It started when I was a little child. Being brought up in a rich family. When the 4 people came to, do, what is it called? In the farming in our place, mom would get a few people come, they pay them little money, they will go to the farm and weed and all those things. Mm-hmm. When I saw the amount of money that was being paid to them, it always bothered me when I was just a little girl. And I always asked my mom, why do you pay them so little? And my mom would tell me that is the price that is being paid around. You see? So that kind of wanting to have more, wanting to get out, wanting to have more money to help the people, even, back home, it's all what led me to here. But it's a journey that was divine. Divine because when I started working as a nurse, I'll give all my money to the poor. My whole salary. All of it. I'll give it to the kids in the hospital where I was, when I was working as a nurse. I'll give it, And I remember one time my husband told me that I should pay a certain bill. Then I said I didn't have the money. He said, you got paid. I said, I gave it to this mother. The kid was dying in the outpatient. And then it's okay, yeah, I gave it to this mother. The kid was in outpatient and died there, and she didn't have this and that. And I knew my husband was not happy with that story of, you gave to somebody, and another time you gave to somebody, you see. So I remember telling God to take me somewhere where I can get more money for myself and for my family. And that's how I landed here, which is a story I'll tell, for another day, because it's a story of how God got in. How did I get the green card? How did I survive in America after that until, today, you see. Yeah, so.
Okay. And is it easy or hard to start an organization in America?
No, it's not.
It's not?
Yeah, because everything is laid down what you need to do. It's like you want to start a non-for-profit or just a business, then there are things that you follow. Mm-hmm. So when you submit whatever you need, then they will just, whatever they need, you give it to them, then you register your organization.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And you always say the little you have, you can help, you can support, you can do something back home.
Yes.
How can people probably support your activity? How can people even support their own people back home?
I'll tell you this. Giving is one of the best things I've found. When you give, you never lack. And most of the time, you give to somebody who can never pay you back. But the joy you see in their hearts when you give them, they always, pray for you. They always thank you. They always, God bless you. They always say things. That it is the heart that matters. It's not even the money. It's not even the amount. The heart that matters, that you can see somebody in need and feel, hey, I have a few coins, I can give it to this person. So for me, I have, I think the other video that we did together, I have my websites there. I have my, social handles, and you will find us there. And you can, if you follow the links, it will take you to our website and you can donate, or you can send us a check. The address is there or something like that. You can call me to unite together and support your family wherever they are. I go to any country. I'm not restricted to going here or there. Wherever I can find people have a heart to support people, we combine forces. You have 100, I have 100, and then we support people and uplift them. Yeah.
Okay. So I thank you for this testimony. Hope it will help other people around the world,
yes,
or from Kenya, or from diaspora. And thank you for your courage to keep supporting, keep giving back, and travel the world and help people in need.
Yes.
So probably can say the last word to the audience.
Yeah, the last one is that I am starting to I will start, I don't know how many people follow me, but I want to travel with people, of course. I travel the world, but there are people who are like, how can I travel with you? How can you can, reach to me with, my number is 574-229-7576, Juliana Kitenge, and we can travel together. What you usually do, I will give you, like, let's say going to Philippines is 1,000 airfare and everything. And now you can travel with me and see why I love traveling and why I like seeing, new cultures, different struggles of life from different ethnic groups, and you find the love in the world. People love people. You go there as a foreigner, as an African, you go to other countries and you find love. So I'm starting to, bring that up, that whoever wants to travel for a cause, meaning whoever wants to travel to serve people and then tour the place, like Philippines, you serve and we go touring. That's how I travel. I tour and then I serve the people. So thank you so much for listening to me. And if you have anything you guys want me to do about myself, my cause, my life, then I'll be glad to do that. So thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.